What Alexandra Eala will do at the Qatar Open for the first time in her career. Alexandra Eala is enjoying her best tournament run of 2026 at the Abu Dhabi Open. Eala produced a stunning comeback against Aliksandra Sasnovich to reach the quarterfinals of the WTA 500 event. The Filipina has been received like a hometown hero in Abu Dhabi, with fans flocking to her matches in droves. Ahead of a quarterfinal clash with Ekaterina Alexandrova, Eala has been rewarded for her climb up the rankings with direct entry in a major upcoming tournament. Alexandra Eala earns entry into the Qatar Open due to her ranking. Eala has reached a career-high ranking of world number 38 thanks to her impressive exploits at the Abu Dhabi Open. The star has been confirmed to enter the Qatar Open due to her rankings, which is a first-time feat for the 20-year-old. Eala's previous appearances at WTA 1000 events have come thanks to a wild card entry, with the most prominent entry coming at last year's Miami Open. The Filipina reached the semifinals of the event after picking up wins against Iga Swiatek, Yelena Ostapenko, and Madison Keys. The star will be hoping to emulate that form as she arrives at the Qatar Open without having to go through qualifying. The top players who have pulled out of the Qatar Open. Eala's entry into the Qatar Open was bolstered by her climb up the rankings, but she has also benefited from mass withdrawals from the event. World number 1 Aryna Sabalenka has confirmed she will not play the event, while Americans Keys and Jessica Pegula have also dropped out. Lois Boisson followed them out of the competition, confirming she would not play the WTA 1000 event due to a leg injury. Naomi Osaka, Iva Jovic, and Marta Kostyuk have also not entered the tournament, continuing their break after the Australian Open. If Eala can continue the form she has shown in Abu Dhabi, she could be considered one of the dark horses for the event. Alexandra Eala stepped off the plane into the warm night breeze of Doha, her racket bag heavier than her heart. This wasn't just another tournament. This was the Qatar Open, her first time here, her first entry into a WTA 1000 event of this magnitude, and the first moment in her career where the global stage didn't feel like a dream, but like a challenge awaiting her fiercest version. She had heard the stories. She had watched past champions. She knew the lights would be brighter, the crowds larger, the expectations, both self-imposed and from the world, louder. But she had trained her whole life for this, sprinting on sun-baked courts in the Philippines, enduring grueling sessions in overseas academies, and learning to whisper strength into herself when doubt crept too close. Arrival and first impressions. The first morning in Doha arrived like a slow crescendo. The sun split the horizon in hues of gold and rose. Alexandra stood at the edge of the courts, watching the players she had idolized glide across pristine surfaces. Here was Elena Rybakina serving with monarch precision. There was Iga Swiatek, calm, calculated, virtually untouchable in form. Players who she had only ever chased in rankings now shared the same air, the same dust beneath their shoes. She reminded herself, this stage doesn't define me. My play does. Her first training session was early. She hit forehands with a quiet ferocity, then found rhythm in her backhands. By the time she served, small crowds had gathered. Coaches looked on. A few fans whispered, "That's Eala," from the Philippines. And when she slid into a powerful down-the-line winner, even the whispers grew a fraction louder. Not because she was expected to win, but because she played like she belonged. The first match. The draw had paired her with a seasoned top 50 opponent, a player with heavy weapons and even heavier experience. In the locker room, Alexandra felt nerves like static, buzzing yet invisible. Her coach handed her a towel, offered no advice, just a look that read, "Trust what you've built." She walked onto the stadium court, a sea of expectation, and heard the crowd swirl like wind around her. But there was something different this time. She didn't shrink. She inhaled deeply and greeted her opponent with a smile that was calm, poised, assured. The first set unfolded like a battle of wills. Each point was a heartbeat. Her forehand painted the lines with artful precision. Her footwork darted like lightning around the court. When the scoreboard showed 5-4 in her favor, even the home crowd began to murmur with curiosity. She wasn't just a new player. She was a force. At match point, she struck a serve that seemed to hum, unafraid, unstoppable, and watched it land with perfect authority. The stadium erupted with applause. Alexandra exhaled, a smile breaking through like sunrise. She had won her first Qatar Open match, a moment that would ripple through her career forever. Growth in each round. Every match that followed felt like a layer of self-discovery. Round of 32, heart and grit. Her second opponent was a veteran, calm, rhythmic, and with a baseline consistency that could test even the strongest patience. The first set slipped away from Alexandra, 3-6, and for a moment, just a moment, doubt crept back in. But then came that fire. She reminded herself that tennis is not only about power, but presence, how you hold yourself. She fought back in the second set, earning small victories in long rallies, weaving smarter angles, and watching the crowd's energy rise with each courageous point. She took the set 6-4. In the decider, she played with both grace and grit. Every swing became a declaration, I am here. I will compete. I will not retreat. She won the match 3-6, 6-4, 6-3. Round of 16. Learning under pressure. Now deeper in the tournament, the competition was fierce. She faced a top 10 player renowned for tactical brilliance. The match began with thunder from her opponent's forehand, shaking Alexandra into long defensive scrambles. In the second set, the score was tied. The rallies stretched painfully, like time itself was counting her resilience. At one point, she dove for a drop shot and felt the court buzz under her fingertips. The ball barely crossed the net, but she reached it and lifted it right back onto the court. The crowd gasped, then cheered. Even in defeat, losing a heartbreaking third-set tiebreak, Alexandra walked off the court with something far greater than a statistic. She walked forward with confidence. Behind the scenes, a champion's heart. Away from the sunshine courts and roaring crowds, Alexandra's journey was shaped by solitude, routine, and reflection. Each night after play, she journaled, not about scores, but about lessons. Today I trusted my instincts. Pressure is a feeling, not a verdict. Every point gives me a chance to grow. She wrote letters to her family, her first supporters, telling them about the culture of the tournament, the beautiful lights of Doha at night, and the joy she felt playing under conditions she had once only dreamed of. She trained quietly each morning, not just on serves or volleys, but on mental resilience. She learned how to breathe with purpose before each point, how to view tension not as fear but as fuel. The quarterfinal breakthrough. When her name appeared in the quarterfinals, something extraordinary unlatched inside her spirit. This was history, both for her and for her nation. On center court, she faced a rival who had always been a hurdle in previous tournaments. The stadium lights glowed against evening blue, and the crowd seemed to hum with anticipation.